joining us.
Welcome to the show.
Here we
How
go.
we doing, guys?
Doing all right, Coach. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I've got you. There's a little breakup, but my face looks ginormous in this screen right here, so it's a little terrifying.
Hold
on, I'm losing you.
Can you hear us?
Maxie, do something.
Maxie, fix.
Maxie.
Coach, can you hear us at all?
I got you now.
Okay, there we go. Okay, Coach. So for everybody who doesn't know your prolific backstory, you've had a experience in the NFL and then NFL Europe from 1997 to 2005 with the 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, I believe, and the Barcelona Dragons.
Yep.
And now you are back in Europe once again and going to be the defensive coordinator for the Hamburg Sea Devils this year. First of all, Coach, let me just ask, why did you want to join the ELF?
Well, kind of going to what you were just talking about. My experience in NFL Europe was amazing. I enjoyed being over here. I was 22, 23 years old. I'll turn 50 while I'm over here now, so a quarter of a century has passed. And I love the idea of developing the game over here. I really do. And being here in Germany, one of the things that I remember about playing in Barcelona was coming to Dusseldorf and coming to Frankfurt and those crowds, right? Like they were as good a crowd as you get, even at, some college football games over in the States. So it was really exciting. And again, I know Patrick Azume a little bit from NFL Europe and I followed the league as he developed it. And I was excited. Look, man, an opportunity to come coach professional football, be defensive coordinator and live in Europe for the summer. I mean, why not?
Absolutely, man. I mean, and it's a really exciting time to get back into football in Europe. Obviously, you had the stint back in the day with NFL Europe, but like football in Europe is really on the come up again, and you get to be part of helping to grow the game, just like you said. Can you talk to us a little bit about how it is in Hamburg and what are your expectations and the team's expectations this year? Obviously, Hamburg had a little bit of trouble last year. And what are your guys' expectations this year?
Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, right, anytime you've got a new coaching staff, that kind of means that things went wrong, right? And so it's a reset, right? At the end of the day, like we're a brand new staff, and a brand new team. I mean, we really are a brand new team, right? And I'm excited about that. Like one of the things that I really like about what we're doing here is we've got guys that want to play in Hamburg, right? We've got guys that are hungry, that are young, right? And maybe not your big name guys, but we got a lot of guys that have really bought into what we're saying. I got here Tuesday. It's been a whirlwind. I've only been here for a couple of days, so I don't really know where I am right now. And I had I got to go to a workout. I've been, there's a camaraderie, right? There's a group of guys that are in this together right now that is really exciting. And I'm excited to work with them. I feel really good about the guys that we've signed. I feel good about the team. I feel good about the pieces that I have on defense to do some things with. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's a challenge, right? Football's hard. Football's hard even when you're good. So that's exciting.
Yeah. Coach, how do you feel preparing to coach in an environment where you don't have all the things that you do at a Temple University or a college in the States, where you have just like the elite structure and the resources, the recovery, the gym, like all of that stuff? How do you feel about coaching in this environment?
Well, I played football back in the 1900s, and so I know that you can do it. You don't need all that stuff at the end of the day. The other thing, honestly, man, Silas, I think one of the things that made me very comfortable about coming over here is I've been coaching high school football for the last 6 years in the States, right? Like I got to coach both of the reason I got out of college coaching was to spend more time with my family. I got to coach both of my sons all the way through high school. It was a tremendous experience for me, but like I'm coming from riding a yellow school bus to a game on Friday.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so
yeah,
I'm cool with what we're doing here. I really am. And I spent last last spring in the USFL. And, there were some hiccups there, so I get it, right? This is a young league. They've done a great job of moving forward every year, right? Getting a little bit better every year. And that's incredibly important. And we have to continue to do that as an organization, right? We have to do that. The experience has to get a little bit better for fans, for coaches, for players. But I know what I'm getting into here, right? I've coached Division II football. I coached in the old UFL. I coached FCS football, Division I football, high school football, and in the USFL, right? So I've seen every level of this thing. And at the end of the day, you need 11 guys out there willing to run into other people. And if I can get 11 guys to do that, we'll be just fine.
Yeah. Coach, I guess kind of just building off that, maybe a stupid question, but you just said you've coached at so many different levels, high school, Division II, FCS, Division I, and now in the ELF. Is there any change in your approach when you're coaching at a different level? Do you approach it in any way differently when you're with high school kids to now when you're with ELF people, when you got a huge range of maybe 20-year-olds to 35-year-olds on your team?
Yeah, that's a good question. And really it shouldn't, right? Coaching is teaching, and you should teach the same all the time. And I think what changes is how fast you can move through the class, right? For lack of a better term. Again, I've been teaching 15, 16, 17-year-olds how to do this, right? I've taught, look, last year, like I said, I spent the spring in the USFL working with professionals again. Completely different animal, right? But you've got to just work through the teaching progression. And when it slows down, you have to slow down, right? And when you can speed up, you have to speed up. So we'll take it as it goes. But at the end of the day, we have to be teachers on the staff, right? We have to teach football right now.
Yeah. That's interesting, Coach. I wonder, you talked about teaching the same. Now, I'm assuming you've had different defenses that you've coached throughout the years. I'm wondering, are you bringing in your high school defense? Are you bringing in a college defense? What are you thinking right now?
So what I have, Silas, is a mixture of things that I've picked up over the last few years and guys that I've worked with, right? I think one of the fun things of football is, especially where football is now, is it's almost becoming positionless in an extent. There's just this on offense and defense, right? You've got these, it's all about matchups. It's about having good athletes on the field. It's about space, right? The offense wants the space. The defense wants to constrict the space. So at the end of the day, I definitely have a system that I kind of developed or put together over the last 6-7 years as a coordinator at Downingtown High School in Pennsylvania. That system came from Phil Snow, who I worked for at Temple University, right? My time at Coastal Carolina, right? I'm doing some things that I did with Greg Williams, who was my DC in Washington, right? So it's just piecing it all together and taking things that I like, that I think work, and putting them together. And at the end of the day, right, it's about, I don't care if we line up and play over cover 2 the entire game, right? You can do that as long as you run real fast and tackle the guy with the ball. So it doesn't have to be super crazy, but it should be fun. Look, defensive guys like to be aggressive. I want to be aggressive, right? I do want to be cautiously aggressive, if that's the right way to think it, right? What do we do well? And then how can we put our guys in the best position possible within our system to do that on Saturdays and Sundays, right? So again, great question. It's really a little bit of everything right now. It really is. And I'm excited, to be completely honest with you, to do it at this level, right? This is a challenge for me and kind of what I believe in and what I do defensively to see if it works at this level.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm super curious as well to kind of get this whole combination of all of your defensive schemes and everything you've done and see how it fits here in ELF in European football, which will be really interesting. Coach, you're working with Matt Johnson, head coach of the Sea Devils, one of the younger coaches in the league, I believe. Can you talk a little bit about how it's been working with him? I know you just got there to Hamburg, but how has that been with him working together. And the second part of that question, was he the one who recruited you to come coach in Hamburg?
Yeah. All right. So it's been great working with Matt. It's been a unique experience in kind of how we met, how we were introduced, and how this happened.
Yeah.
I definitely have the most gray hair on the staff. There's no doubt about it. As you can see, I got a lot. It's a lot of big bushy beard, right? And if my hair were down, there's a lot of gray there too. I'm the oldest guy on the staff, probably by 10 years, maybe, maybe, and that's great. Matt's put a great, young, excited staff together, which I'm enjoying. I knew Yogi Jones and Patrick Azume from NFL Europe.
Okay. I
started following the league when Coach Jones got hired here a couple of years ago. He and I were talking about me possibly coming over to coach for the Sea Devils, to be the defensive line coach. And at the time, it didn't work for my family, right? My youngest son was a junior in high school. My wife was like, just wait till he graduates, and then you can go. And so he graduated. Coach Jones got let go at the end of the year. So I kind of thought maybe my dream of coming, and look, it was like, this is what I wanted to do this offseason. Like my dream of coming over here and coaching in the ELF, my contact was gone, right? Mm-hmm. So what do? Right? Well, Coach Jones and Patrick Azume connected me with Matt. They all have a relationship. And Matt and I talked a little bit, and I talked to, Miguel and the guys here in the organization. And we thought it was a good fit. I was excited to come over and look, I think, again, I've been on old staffs where I'm the youngest guy. That's not a lot of fun, man. We get crankier as we get older, right? The longer that you do this, the crotchetier you get. And so I am super excited to have a young group of guys that are really excited about this thing that I'm working with. And so it's going to be fun. There's a good energy. I think that I have been impressed with how Matt has handled this. This has not been an easy offseason.
Right.
Like I came on board in November, and putting this team together has been a challenge, right? For all the things, like I've listened to this show a few times, right? And I've heard kind of what Silas has said, and there's some truth to some of it. You know what I mean? Like this has been a challenge, but like what we've done and what we've put together, I'm super excited about. And I love the fact that we're flying under the radar, and don't think we don't have a big ass chip on our shoulders because of it, right? You know what I mean? But I think Matt's done a great job of building this team and letting them know the expectations and then holding to that standard.
Coach, I know it's kind of hard to put like a number on what a win number would be for expectations or something. Can I ask you, what would it take for 2024 to be considered a success for the Hamburg Sea Devils, for what you guys are doing right now and building kind of in this new chapter? What does have to happen by the end of 2024 for you guys to be like, that was successful?
Man, that's a good one. It is. So, I mean, obviously, look, right, you come here to win, right? Like that, at the end of the day, that's what we're judged by, wins and losses. And, I'm judged by how the defense plays. So, those are things that I think if we see improvement, right? If you see improvement from a record perspective, and more than a 1-win improvement, right? Like a substantial improvement. Like, look, I want to. My goal is always 10 games, right? Like if you can win 10 games at any level of football, that's a great season. So that's the goal, right? I mean, does that seem realistic to people outside of here? Probably not, right? But like, look, man, like in a league like this where you've got tremendous turnover every year, because of the way the contracts are situated and the way that things move, like there's no reason you can't. So I think the goal is like every other team right now, right, is to win the championship. I mean, that is like, that's, we all know, we've all played. That's why you do it, right? Realistically, improvement, right? Do they play hard all the time? Do they finish games, right? Do we finish the season? Do we play great on defense? Do we tackle well? And then do we win more games than we won last year? Yeah. So That to me is where it is. I mean, it's so hard. I'm a firm believer in you just got to get a little bit better every day, right?
Yeah.
And that's football, right? And that's life. But at the end of the day, it's football. And so if we can just go out and just get better a little bit every day, that should go a long way with a young group that's hungry. I don't know what it's going to look like at first. I get to go on the field with these cats on Saturday for the first time, right? So like I'm super excited about that. But we don't know what it's going to look like. So again, do we play hard? Do we win more games than we did last year? Do we finish the season? Like those are things that are huge.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great answer to a really difficult question. And I kind of compare it a little bit to the Stuttgart Surge situation last year. I asked their head coach, Jordan Newman, kind of a similar question last year when they were facing sort of a rebuild and they were a new coaching staff coming in. And he had a similar answer that you had just now. But the thing that you touched on that's so true is, especially in the ELF, you can turn things around in one season. You can go from being at the bottom of the league to at the top of the league in one season. So I think that's very true and a great point that you just made there. Silas, do we have any questions from the chat here?
Well,
yeah,
I do have a question, Coach. We've met before.
We
right?
have. I was wondering if you knew that. Yeah.
Where was that?
I met you at the Dream Bowl
The
in
Dream
Beach,
Bowl.
Virginia.
wow.
I was the keynote speaker, and you were like the superstar player on the whole thing. And you and I met there and played the game. I think it was brutally cold. It was not very nice in Virginia.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm originally from Virginia Beach, so they brought me in to try and drum up ticket sales. But I don't think it worked very well.
It was a Division II, Division III All-Star game. You're not going to get any sales there. But I'll tell you what, man. This is a crazy, just full circle. It was at the Dream Bowl that I met this random kid. I think he was a player. I don't even remember his name, but he gave me a card that said europlayers.com, and he was the key that got me to Europe.
Wow.
And that was the same time that I met you. It's crazy full circle.
Yep.
And I when I saw it, because you didn't have the beard and
no. I was trying to get into broadcasting at the time, and you can see I got a face for radio, boys. So like,
us too.
This is podcasting, right? So
I love it.
So
I'm excited for you to get out to Germany and coach and hearing just your background, all the things that you coaching high school, being in Europe, doing all those things. You're going to do a great job out there. I'm always hesitant when coaches who've only ever coached it or coming from like NFL D1 programs and they go to Europe and then their expectations are so high and they just bomb. And so I think you have the right mindset. You're going to do a great job out there, and we're thankful to have you today.
I appreciate it, guys. This has been fun. I was hoping I was going to get an invite. I've watched a couple of these, especially to get a little motivation, because I know Silas has been pretty down on the Devils. So
you raised the stock from me.
I appreciate
stock's going up. Hey, he's providing bulletin board material for you guys. He's rooting for you, truly.
Use it all. Keep it coming.
All right. Coach, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Great talking to you, and good luck to you guys this year.
Absolutely, guys. I appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Sir. All right.